My wife declared, "From now on, I decide when we spend time together. Stop bothering me." So I did exactly that. 2 weeks of absolute silence. She said it while I was loading the dishwasher after cooking dinner. Didn't even look up from her phone. I'd asked if she wanted to watch our show that night. The new season dropped 3 days ago, and she'd been excited about it for months. From now on, I decide when we spend time together. Stop bothering me. Just like that. No explanation, no context. Fine. I stopped asking. I woke up the next morning, went to the gym at 6:01 a.m., came home and showered while she was still asleep. Left for work without saying goodbye? No text asking about her day? No. What do you want for dinner? Message at 3 p.m. Like I'd sent every day for 6 years. Nothing. She texted me around noon. Can you grab milk on the way home? I didn't respond. She wanted space. I was giving her space. That evening, I stopped at my buddy Corey's place after work. We played video games until 10 p.m. When I got home, Cassidy was already in bed. The lights were off. I slept on my side of the mattress, a good 2 feet between us. Day 2 was the same. Gym, work, stopped at a sports bar to watch the game with coworkers. Got home at 9:30. She was in the living room with her laptop. Where were you? She asked. Out. I walked past her to the bedroom. She didn't follow. By day 5, I'd established a routine. Morning workout, 10-hour workday, dinner with friends, or alone at whatever restaurant I felt like trying. I'd been wanting to check out this new Korean BBQ place downtown for months, but Cassidy always said she wasn't in the mood. Turned out their pork belly was incredible. Actually incredible, like better than any place I'd been to before. The kind of thing I would have normally texted her about, but I didn't. I started noticing things I'd ignored before. How much quieter the house was without me trying to fill the silence. How I didn't feel anxious anymore waiting for her to be available. How I'd been bending my entire schedule around someone who couldn't be bothered to look up from her phone. The realization hit me one night while I was sitting at this Thai place near work, eating pad Thai by myself. I wasn't lonely. I was relieved. Corey asked me about it during our Saturday morning workout. You seem different, man, in a good way. Just giving my wife what she asked for, I said, which is space. He didn't push it, but I could see him doing the math in his head. We'd been friends since college. He knew Cassidy. He knew me. He was connecting dots I wasn't ready to acknowledge yet. Week 2, I signed up for that woodworking class I'd been putting off. Every Tuesday and Thursday evening, 7 to 9 p.m. Built a cutting board from scratch. The instructor said I had good hands for detail work. I actually felt proud of something for the first time in months. The wood smelled amazing, like cedar and fresh sawdust. My hands got sore from sanding, but it was the good kind of sore. The kind that meant I'd actually accomplished something. Cassidy texted me Wednesday night, "Where are you?" It's 8:30. I responded 3 hours later. Woodworking class. Since when? Since I had free time. Thursday. She called during the class. I sent it to voicemail. The instructor noticed and asked if everything was okay. Yeah, I said. Just my wife. He nodded like he understood something I didn't. Called her back at 10 p.m. from my truck. What's going on with you? She asked. Her voice had this edge to it, like she was trying to sound casual but couldn't quite manage it. Nothing. Just respecting your boundaries. My boundaries? You said you decide when we spend time together, so I'm waiting for you to decide. Silence on the other end. I could hear her breathing, could picture her sitting on the couch, phone pressed to her ear, trying to figure out what to say. The old me would have filled that silence. Would have asked if she was okay, if we could talk about it, if there was something I'd done wrong. The new me just waited. Then, I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? More silence. She hung up. Friday night, I went out with coworkers for happy hour. Turned into dinner. Turned into bar hopping until midnight. My coworker Jeff kept buying rounds, and honestly, I was having a good time. We talked about nothing important. Sports, weekend plans, this new project at work, normal stuff, easy stuff. Stuff that didn't require me to decode hidden meanings or walk on eggshells. Got home to find every light in the house on and Cassidy sitting on the couch in the dark living room staring at the wall. All the lights were on except the living room. It was bizarre. Where were you? Her voice cracked. You didn't text me. I stopped halfway to the bedroom, turned around slowly. You told me to stop bothering you, so I stopped bothering you. You wanted to decide when we spend time together. I'm still waiting for you to decide. Her face went pale. Like actually pale, the color just drained right out. I didn't mean, you meant exactly what you said, and I'm giving you exactly what you asked for. She started crying, not the soft kind, the ugly kind, the kind where you can't catch your breath and your whole face goes red. I went to bed. I could hear her crying through the wall for another hour. Part of me wanted to go comfort her. The bigger part of me remembered sitting on the couch alone for 3 months while she scrolled on her phone, telling me she was too tired to talk whenever I tried to connect. Saturday morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and 43 text messages, all from her. All variations of "we need to talk" and "where are you?" I was at the gym. Came home around 9 a.m. and she was waiting at the kitchen table, eyes red, still in yesterday's clothes. "We need to talk," she said. "Okay, talk." I poured myself coffee and leaned against the counter. She stopped. "Started again? Why are you doing this?" "Doing what?" "This. You're different. You told me to stop bothering you." I stopped. "That's not, I didn't mean." "Then what did you mean, Cassidy?" "Say it clearly." She couldn't. She sat there, mouth opening and closing, but nothing came out. I finished my coffee, rinsed the cup, and went to take a shower. When I came out, she was gone. Left me a note on the fridge. "I'm staying at my sister's for the weekend. We'll talk when I get back." I had the best weekend I'd had in years. Went hiking on Sunday, tried this new breakfast place that had been on my list. cleaned out the garage, which I'd been meaning to do for months, watched football without someone sighing dramatically every 10 minutes because they were bored. Monday morning, that's when she showed up at my office. I work in an open floor plan, 30 desks, all visible to each other. She walked in at 10 a.m., mascara running down her face, and made a scene in front of my entire team. Just stood there at the entrance like she expected me to immediately jump up and run to her, like in the movies or something. I looked up from my computer screen, made eye contact, went back to typing. I could feel everyone watching. Jeff at the desk next to me stopped mid-email to stare. My boss, Trevor, poked his head out of his office. Cassidy just stood there, silent, waiting for me to come to her like I always did. 30 seconds passed. A minute. She started shifting her weight from foot to foot, picking at her sleeve the way she did when she was anxious. My coworker whispered, "Is she okay?" I didn't answer. Cassidy's lips started trembling, not from sadness, from confusion. She'd come here expecting me to immediately jump up and comfort her, and my refusal to move was breaking something in her brain. I watched her face cycle through emotions, hurt, anger, confusion, back to hurt. She'd never had to work for my attention before, I'd always just given it. That's when her expression shifted from sad to something I'd never seen before, genuine fear. I stayed at my desk, didn't move, didn't acknowledge her beyond that first glance, just kept typing my email like she was a stranger who'd wandered into the wrong building. Another minute passed, then another. I could hear her breathing from across the room, these short, panicked little gasps, like she couldn't figure out what to do with her hands or her body or any of it. Trevor finally walked over to her. "Ma'am, can I help you with something?" His voice was polite but firm, office manager voice. She looked at him, then back at me, then at him again. I'm his wife." Trevor glanced at me. I kept typing. "I see," he said. "Is there an emergency?" She didn't answer, just stared at me. Waiting? Always waiting for me to fix things. To make the first move, to be the one who cared more. "Ma'am, if there's no emergency, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. This is a workplace." She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. "He won't talk to me." Trevor looked uncomfortable now. "That sounds like something you two need to discuss at home." He wasn't wrong. She stood there for another 30 seconds that felt like an hour, then turned and walked out. The second the door closed behind her, the entire office erupted into whispered conversations. Jeff leaned over. "Dude, what the hell was that?" "Long story," I said. He waited for me to elaborate. I didn't. My phone started buzzing immediately, text after text. "I can't believe you just did that. You embarrassed me." Everyone was staring. "You're supposed to be my husband." I put my phone on silent and got back to work. She called 6 more times before lunch. I let every single one go to voicemail. At lunch, I listened to one of them. Just one. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. Something about how I'd humiliated her, how I'd changed, how she didn't recognize me anymore. "You used to care about me," she sobbed. "What happened to you?" I deleted it and went to grab a sandwich. When I got home that night, she was sitting in her car in the driveway, engine off, just sitting there in the dark. I parked next to her, got out, walked past her car to the front door. She scrambled out and followed me. "We need to talk." I unlocked the door. "You've said that a lot lately." "Because we do." Her voice cracked. "You're acting like you don't even care anymore." I stopped in the doorway, turned to face her. "You told me to stop bothering you, Cassidy. Those were your exact words. Stop bothering me." So I stopped. "I'm confused about what the problem is." She wiped at her face. "I didn't think you'd actually what? Respect what you said? Take you seriously? You know what I meant." "No." I shook my head. "I really don't. Why don't you explain it to me?" She couldn't, just stood there on the porch, shivering in the October cold, trying to find words that didn't make her sound crazy. "Can I please just come inside so we can talk?" "Fine." I held the door open. She walked in, sat on the couch, and immediately started crying again. I stayed standing, waited. She took a shaky breath. "I feel like you don't see me anymore." I almost laughed. Didn't, but almost. "Cassidy, I asked you to watch our show with me. You told me to stop bothering you. I've asked you to do things with me approximately 300 times in the past 6 months. You always say you're tired or busy or not in the mood. So I stopped asking. Isn't that what you wanted?" "I wanted you to try harder." She said it like it was obvious, like I was stupid for not understanding. "Try harder?" "Yes, I wanted you to show you cared. To not just give up the second I pushed back." "You didn't push back. You told me to leave you alone." "In what world is that pushing back?" She stared at me. "You should have known I didn't mean it." And there it was, the thing I'd been dancing around for 2 weeks. "So you wanted me to, what? Read your mind? Ignore what you explicitly said because you secretly meant the opposite?" "I wanted you to fight for us." Her voice went up an octave. "I wanted you to show me that I matter." I sat down across from her, not next to her, across. "So you tested me." She froze. "I didn't?" "Yeah, you did. You said something deliberately hurtful to see if I'd chase you. And when I didn't, when I actually respected your words, you're mad about it. That's manipulative, Cassidy." "It's not." "It is. And you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of trying to decode what you actually mean. I'm tired of walking on eggshells. I'm tired of being the only person in this marriage who gives a shit." Her face crumpled. "That's not fair, isn't it? When's the last time you asked me about my day? When's the last time you planned something for us? When's the last time you looked up from your phone when I was talking?" She didn't answer. Couldn't, probably, because we both knew the truth. "I need some space," I said, standing up. "Real space. Not the fake kind you were asking for." "What does that mean?" Her voice was small. "It means I'm staying at Corey's for a few days, maybe longer. I need to think." "You're leaving me?" "I'm taking a break." "That's the same thing." "No, it's not. But maybe it should be." I grabbed my keys and left. She called after me, but I didn't stop. Got in my truck and drove to Corey's apartment. He opened the door, took one look at my face, and just stepped aside. Beers in the fridge? I crashed on his couch that night. Slept better than I had in months. My phone buzzed all night. Texts ranging from angry to apologetic. I can't believe you just left. Please come home. We can work this out. You're being unreasonable. I'm sorry. Please. I love you. Why won't you answer me? I turned it off around midnight and actually got some sleep. Woke up to 23 new messages. Corey was making coffee when I shuffled into the kitchen. She really doing the most, huh? I nodded. Poured myself a cup. She wants to talk. Do you? I thought about it. Not really. Not yet. Every conversation just goes in circles. She can't admit what she did was wrong. What did she do exactly? Corey asked. So I told him. Everything. The original comment, the 2 weeks of silence, the office scene, all of it. He listened without interrupting, nodding occasionally. When I finished, he was quiet for a minute. Then, man, that's some head game bullshit. Yeah, you know what you're gonna do? Not go back until she can have an actual conversation without crying or deflecting. That's fair. I stayed at Corey's for 3 days. Went to work, went to the gym, went to my woodworking class. Cassidy texted constantly, but I kept my responses short. I'm fine. I need time. Not ready to talk yet. On the third night, she tried a different approach. A long text. A really long one. About how she'd been reading articles about relationships and realized she'd been distant and unavailable and that she understood now why I was upset. I read it twice. It sounded like she'd copy-pasted from a therapy blog. Nothing about the actual testing. Nothing about the manipulation. Just generic relationship advice speak. I didn't respond. Day 4, I went back to the house to grab more clothes. She was there, of course, waiting. The house smelled like she'd been baking. Cookies, maybe. Hey, she said softly. Hey. I headed straight for the bedroom. She followed. Did you get my text? Yeah. And I'm still thinking. What is there to think about? Her voice got sharp. I apologized. I explained. What more do you want? I stopped packing and looked at her. Do you actually understand what you did wrong? I already said I was distant. No, not distant. What you actually did. She frowned. You deliberately tested me, Cassidy. You said something designed to hurt me to see how I'd react. And when I didn't react the way you wanted, you're treating me like I'm the problem. I didn't. You did. You even said it. You wanted me to try harder, to fight for us. You wanted to watch me scramble and chase and prove myself. That's not love, that's control. Her face went pale. That's not, I was just what? She couldn't finish, just stood there, picking at her sleeve again. I panicked, she finally whispered. I panicked watching you be fine without me, and instead of talking to me about it, you tried to manipulate me into a reaction. I wasn't trying to. You were. And the fact that you can't even admit it now tells me everything I need to know. I zipped up my bag. Wait, she grabbed my arm. Please don't go. I told you, I need space to think. What are you thinking about? Her eyes were wide, scared. Whether I want to stay in a marriage where I'm constantly being tested. She let go of my arm like I'd burned her. You're thinking about leaving me? I'm thinking about a lot of things. I walked out. She didn't follow this time, just stood in the bedroom doorway, crying silently. I felt bad for about 5 seconds. Then I remembered the past 6 months of her barely looking at me and the feeling passed. Back at Corey's, my phone was already blowing up again. But this time it was different, not apologetic, angry. You can't just walk away from a marriage. This is abandonment. I don't deserve this. You're punishing me for nothing. Everyone makes mistakes. You're being childish. I showed Corey. He whistled. She's spiraling. Yep. You gonna respond? Nope. The next day at work, Jeff pulled me aside. Hey man, I don't want to be weird, but Cassidy called me. I froze. She what? She called my cell. I don't know how she got my number. Asked if I talked to you, if you'd said anything about, your marriage. What did you tell her? That it wasn't my business and she should talk to you directly. He paused. She seemed pretty desperate. Thanks for the heads up. Is everything okay? Honestly, I don't know. That night, she showed up at the gym. Corey and I were mid-workout when I saw her walk in. She spotted me immediately, started walking over. Oh shit, Corey muttered. Should I? Just stay here. I met her halfway. What are you doing here? You won't talk to me, she said. So I came to you. This isn't the place, Cassidy. Then where is the place? You won't come home. You barely answer my texts. You're avoiding me. I'm not avoiding you. I'm taking space. Like I said, I needed. It's been a week, and I'm still not ready. Her voice cracked. When will you be ready? I don't know. People were staring now. I could feel their eyes. Can we please just go somewhere and talk? She reached for my hand. I stepped back. Not tonight. When? When I'm ready. That's not fair. Her voice echoed in the gym. You don't get to just shut me out. I'm not shutting you out. I'm protecting myself. That stopped her. From what? From being manipulated again. She flinched like I'd hit her. I didn't. You did. And until you can actually admit what you did and why it was wrong, we don't have anything to talk about. I walked back to Corey. She stood there for a minute, then left. Corey didn't say anything, just handed me the weights. 2 days later, I started getting texts from mutual friends. Hey man, Cassidy's really struggling. Maybe give her a call. I know it's none of my business, but she's really torn up about this. She loves you, She made a mistake. I ignored most of them. But then my friend Tyler called. Actually called. Dude, what's going on? Cassidy said you left her over one comment. That's what she told you? Yeah, said she made one offhand remark and you've been punishing her ever since. I laughed. Couldn't help it. That's not what happened. So what did happen? I explained. The whole thing. Tyler was quiet when I finished. Damn. Yeah. She really told everyone it was just one comment? Apparently. Wow. Okay. I'm sorry, man. I didn't know. It's fine. I know how it looks from the outside. For what it's worth, I think you're doing the right thing. That testing shit is toxic. Thanks. After I hung up, I thought about calling other friends to set the record straight, but honestly, I was too tired. If they wanted to believe her version, let them. That night, Corey and I were playing video games when he said, "You know she's gonna keep pushing, right?" "Yeah." "What are you gonna do when she does?" "I don't know. Part of me wants to just end it, file for divorce and be done." "And the other part?" "The other part remembers what we used to be, before all this." "Was there a before all this?" he asked. "Or was she always like this and you just didn't notice?" That hit harder than I expected, because he was right. I'd been thinking about it a lot the past week, all the little things that hadn't seemed like red flags at the time. Early in our relationship, she'd given me the silent treatment for 3 days because I went to a concert with friends instead of staying home with her. I'd thought she was just hurt. Now I wondered if it was the first test. She'd accidentally left her phone open to a conversation with a guy she worked with, just flirty enough to make me uncomfortable. When I asked about it, she'd gotten defensive, said I was being paranoid, then spent the next week being extra affectionate like she was rewarding me for getting jealous. Another test. The time she told me she was thinking about moving out of state for a job and watched my reaction carefully before laughing and saying she was just kidding. Test. The time she stopped wearing her engagement ring for a week to see if I'd notice. Test. The time she told me her ex had reached out and wanted to get coffee and waited to see if I'd tell her not to go. Test. Holy shit. How had I not seen it? "I've been an idiot," I said out loud. Corey paused the game. "What?" "She's been testing me our entire relationship. I just never called it that." Damn. Every time I passed, she'd be sweet and loving. Every time I failed, she'd pull away until I figured out the right answer. It's been 6 years of this. So what are you gonna do? I think I'm done. Saying it out loud made it real, made it terrifying, but also kind of freeing. Corey nodded. "Yeah, man, I think that's probably smart." We sat there for a minute, then went back to the game. But my heart wasn't in it anymore. I was thinking about divorce lawyers and how to split up a house and whether I'd have to see her at mutual friends' weddings. The next morning, I called a lawyer just to talk through my options. He was professional and kind and asked a lot of questions I didn't have answers to yet, but he gave me a clearer picture of what splitting up would look like, financially, emotionally, legally. It was overwhelming, but not as overwhelming as the thought of going back to how things were. That night, Cassidy showed up at Corey's apartment. I don't know how she figured out I was staying there. Maybe she'd been driving around looking for my truck. Maybe Corey's girlfriend told her. Didn't matter. She pounded on the door until Corey answered. "Is he here?" I could hear her from the couch. "Yeah, but I need to talk to him." She pushed past Corey and found me in the living room. "We need to talk, right now." "Cassidy?" "No, you've had your space. You've made your point. Now we talk." She sat down across from me. Corey disappeared into his bedroom. Smart man. "I've been doing a lot of reading," she started, "about relationships and communication and attachment styles." "Okay." "And I realize now that I've been struggling with some things, feeling invisible, feeling like I don't matter, and I didn't handle it well." "Okay," I said again. She waited for me to say more. I didn't. "I'm trying to apologize here." "I know. So, do you accept?" "I need to hear you say what you're actually apologizing for." She frowned. For what I said, about not bothering me, and for being distant?" "Cassidy." I leaned forward. "What are you actually sorry for?" She stared at me. "I don't understand what you want me to say." "I want you to admit that you deliberately tested me, that you said something hurtful to see how I'd react, that you wanted me to chase you and panic and prove myself, that you wanted to watch me suffer to feel important." Her mouth opened, closed. That's not, it is. You said it yourself. You wanted me to try harder, to fight. You panicked when I was fine without you. You wanted a reaction. I didn't want you to suffer, didn't you? Be honest." She looked away, tears running down her face. I needed to know you still cared. So you tested me. I needed to feel powerful. You needed to feel powerful. You needed to know you could still control my emotions. And when you couldn't, you spiraled. That's not fair, isn't it? She cried harder. "I didn't mean to hurt you, but you did, deliberately, and you'd do it again." "I wouldn't." "How do I know that? How do I know that the next time you feel insecure, you won't pull something like this again? How do I know I can trust anything you say? Because I love you." Love isn't manipulation, Cassidy. Love isn't tests. Love is being honest about what you need and trusting the other person to care. She buried her face in her hands. "I can change." "Can you? Because from where I'm sitting, you can't even admit what you did wrong. You keep trying to reframe it as a mistake or a misunderstanding. It wasn't. It was a deliberate choice to hurt me to make yourself feel better. And until you can own that, I don't see how anything changes. Please." She looked up at me. "Please don't leave me. I'll do anything. Therapy? Whatever you want. Just don't go." "I already left. We can fix this." "I don't think we can." "Don't say that." Her voice broke. "Don't give up on us." "I'm not giving up. I'm choosing myself for once. I'm choosing not to be with someone who plays games with my emotions. It was one time. It wasn't. I've been thinking about it all week. All the little tests over the years. The silent treatments, the manufactured jealousy, the fake crises. I just never saw them for what they were." She went white. "That's not..." "It is, and we both know it." She stood up. "If you walk away from this marriage, you'll regret it." "Maybe, but I'll regret staying more." "I won't let you do this." Her voice got hard. "We took vows. You broke them the second you started playing games. You're not perfect either. I never said I was, but I've been honest. I've been present. I've been trying. You've been testing." She grabbed her purse and headed for the door. Stopped. Turned back. "You're going to come crawling back when you realize what you lost." "I already know what I lost. 6 years of my life with someone who couldn't love me without making it a competition. She slammed the door on her way out. Corey emerged from his bedroom. "You okay?" "Yeah," I said. And weirdly, I was. I felt lighter, freer, like I'd been holding my breath for 6 years and could finally exhale. That was intense. "Yeah, you really think you're done?" "Yeah, I really do." The next day, I went back to the house while she was at work, packed up all my stuff, clothes, books, the tools from the garage, left my key on the kitchen counter with a note. "I'll contact you about the house and divorce proceedings. Please don't call me unless it's through a lawyer." Drove to a cheap extended stay hotel and checked in for a month. It wasn't much, but it was mine. No tests, no games, just peace. She texted that night when she got home. "I can't believe you actually moved out. You really think this is over? You're making a huge mistake." I didn't respond to any of them. Blocked her number after the 15th text. Contacted the lawyer the next morning and started the paperwork. It felt surreal. 6 years, gone, but also necessary. Work became my refuge. I threw myself into projects, stayed late, volunteered for the assignments no one else wanted. My boss noticed. "You're doing great work lately," he said one day. "Thanks. Everything okay at home?" "Not really, but it will be." He nodded and didn't push. I appreciated that. Woodworking class became my therapy. Something about working with my hands, creating something tangible, it helped. The instructor, Pete, was this older guy who'd been doing woodworking for 40 years. He noticed I was there early one night, sanding the same piece over and over. "Woman troubles?" he asked. "How'd you know?" "You're putting a lot of anger into that sanding block." I laughed. "Yeah, getting divorced. That'll do it. How long were you together?" 6 years, he whistled. "That's rough." "It is, but it's also right, you know?" I do. Sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are the same thing. There was this woman in the class, Jordan. She'd been there since I started, but we'd never really talked beyond basic pleasantries. She came over while I was sanding. "That's looking good. Thanks. I heard you're going through a divorce. Sorry, small class. People talk." "It's fine. For what it's worth, you seem happier than when you started." "Yeah? Yeah, lighter. Like you're not caring as much anymore." "I guess I'm not." We started talking more after that. Nothing romantic, just easy. She was funny and straightforward and didn't play games. It was refreshing. We'd grab coffee after class sometimes, talk about woodworking or work or life. She was going through her own stuff, recently out of a bad relationship, trying to figure out who she was again. I got it. Meanwhile, Cassidy was spiraling. I found out through mutual friends that she'd been posting on social media about how I abandoned her, how I gave up on our marriage. Over nothing, how she tried so hard to fix things, but I wouldn't listen. People who didn't know the full story commented with support. "He doesn't deserve you." "His loss. You're better off." The people who did know the full story stayed quiet. Tyler called me one night. "She's been calling everyone we know, trying to get people on her side." Let her. Doesn't it bother you? Not really. The people who matter know the truth. Everyone else, I don't care. That's pretty zen of you. I'm tired of caring what people think. I spent 6 years trying to be perfect for someone who was never satisfied. I'm done. A month after I moved out, I ran into one of her friends at the grocery store. Ashley. She'd always been nice to me. "Hey," she said carefully. "Hey, how are you doing?" "I'm okay. You?" "Good. Listen, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry about what happened with you and Cassidy." "Thanks. For what it's worth, I don't think you're the bad guy here." That surprised me. "Really?" "Really." She pulled that "stop bothering me" thing with me once. I didn't talk to her for 2 weeks and she acted like I'd committed a crime. She likes to test people. It's exhausting. Yeah, it really is. She told me you wouldn't go to couples therapy. She never asked me to go to couples therapy. Ashley sighed. "Yeah, I figured. She's been rewriting a lot of the story." I noticed. "Well, for what it's worth, I think you did the right thing. Walking away from someone who plays games? That takes guts." "Thanks. That means a lot." 2 months in, the divorce paperwork was moving forward. We'd agreed to sell the house and split things 50-50. It was surprisingly amicable, mostly because we were doing everything through lawyers and didn't have to actually talk to each other. She tried to call a few times from different numbers, but I never answered. There was nothing left to say. I moved into a small apartment. 1 bedroom, nothing fancy, but it was mine. Decorated it how I wanted. Bought a new couch without having to consult anyone. Hung up posters I liked without worrying if they were too juvenile. Started cooking again, really cooking, trying new recipes just because. Invited Corey over for dinner one night. "Dude, this place is great." "Yeah? Yeah, it's very you." "Thanks, I think." Jordan and I had become actual friends. We went to an art show together one weekend, grabbed lunch after woodworking class, talked on the phone sometimes when we were both having rough days. It wasn't romantic. I wasn't ready for that. But it was nice to have someone who got it. Someone who understood what it was like to rebuild yourself after someone else tried to break you down. 3 months after I left, I was at the grocery store loading bags into my truck when I heard, "Oh my God, hey." I looked up. Cassidy. She looked different. Hair shorter, new clothes, smiling like we were old friends. "Hey," I said carefully. "How are you?" Her voice was bright, cheerful, like nothing had happened. "I'm good. You?" "I'm okay, busy with work." "That's great. I'm doing really well too. I've been seeing someone actually." "Oh, good for you." "His name is Brett. We met at a work thing. He's really sweet." "That's great, Cassidy." "Yeah, I'm really happy." She was talking too fast, smiling too wide. "He's actually really into hiking, which is perfect because I've been wanting to get more active." "Sounds perfect. What about you? Seeing anyone?" "No, not really looking." "Oh, well, you should get back out there. Life's too short, you know?" I stared at her. She was acting like we were college friends who'd drifted apart, like we hadn't been married, like I hadn't left because she'd systematically manipulated me for 6 years, like none of it mattered. I should get going, I said. These groceries? Oh, of course, it was so good to see you. She hugged me, actually hugged me. I stood there frozen, arms at my sides. We should grab coffee sometime, catch up properly. Yeah, maybe. I got in my truck and drove home. Sat in my apartment parking lot for 10 minutes, trying to process what just happened. She'd rewritten the entire story in her head. We weren't divorced, we'd just grown apart. There was no manipulation, no tests, no pain, just two people who wanted different things. It was almost impressive the way she'd convinced herself of a completely different reality. My phone rang. Jordan. Hey, you okay? You sound weird. I just ran into my ex-wife at the grocery store. Oh shit, how was that? Bizarre. She acted like we were old friends, like nothing happened. That's... wow. Yeah, she's completely rewritten history. In her version, we just drifted apart naturally. No conflict, no manipulation, just life. That's some next level denial, let's say, right? How do you feel? I thought about it. Sad. Not for me, for her. She can't face what she did, so she's just pretending it never happened. She's going to do the same thing to this new guy, and the next one, and the one after that, because she can't admit the problem is her. That's depressing. It really is. We talked for a while longer. She made me laugh, told me about her day, reminded me that some people were capable of being honest and direct. When I hung up, I felt better, lighter. I made dinner, watched TV, went to bed early, had the best sleep I'd had in months. The next day, I deleted Cassidy's contact from my phone, blocked her on social media, told my friends not to update me on what she was doing. I was done. Not angry anymore, not hurt, just done. She'd live in her rewritten version of events, I'd live in reality, and we'd both be fine. Thanks for watching till the end. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss the next story.